Okay. Today is January 13, 2022. This is the Homelessness Task Force meeting. Oral public comment may be provided live during the Homelessness Task Force meeting by first registering for the Zoom meeting in advance. To register, you will need to provide an email address and a name. To minimize technical difficulty, please make sure that you have the latest version of Zoom application. The following are the link to register. After you register, a link will be sent to you to join the Homelessness Task Force meeting in order to give your comments. All registered meetings attendees who wish to speak must click on the raise hand icon when the chair calls for the public comments. If participating by calling in on your phone, dial 9 to use the raise hand features. And when you are called upon, hit *6 to unmute your phone. Your phone number will be displayed in the live meeting. The chair or staff will call the speakers to begin. All comments provided shall be limited to 3 minutes or less as determined by the chair. All members of the public will be limited to 1 comment per agenda item and 1 comment for non-agenda items. Okay, welcome everyone. Let's do Pledge of Allegiance. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and with justice for all. Thank you. Roll call. Robert, can you do the roll call?
Give me 1 second. I'm going to put the agenda right back up on the screen. Okay. Roll call. Chair Lamb.
Here.
Vice Chair Alexander.
Here.
Member Centeno.
Present.
Member Bevington.
Present.
Member Morales. Member Morales. Member Navarro.
Present.
Member Jew.
Present.
Thank you.
Okay. Approval of agenda January 13, 2022, today's agenda. May I have a motion to approve today's agenda? If there's no changes made.
Motion to approve January 13, 2022 agenda.
Thank you.
I second the motion.
Thank you. All in favor? Oh, I believe we need to call each individual person.
Yes, I will do that right now, sir. Chair Lamb.
Aye.
Vice Chair Alexander.
Aye.
Member Centeno.
Aye.
Member Bevington.
Aye.
Member Navarro.
Aye.
Member Jew.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Okay. Approval of minutes from last meeting, December 9th, 2021. I assume everyone has a chance to read that. And any changes? Okay, if I hear no changes, may I have a motion to approve the minute from last meeting.
I make the motion to approve the December 9th, 2021 minutes from our last meeting.
I'll
Thank
second
you.
that.
Okay,
Okay,
all in favor? Robert, can you call?
Chair Lamb,
Aye.
Vice Chair Alexander,
Aye.
Member Centeno,
Aye.
Member Bevington,
Aye.
Member Navarro,
Aye.
Member Shu.
Aye.
Yeah, I have it.
Okay. Number 6 on the agenda, public forum. Zoom attendees, public members are invited to address the task force on any subject not on the agenda. Those interested in speaking may do so by following the instruction on page 1 of the agenda. Comments may be limited to 3 minutes or less at the chair's discretion. As an item not listed on the agenda, no response is required from the city staff or the task force, and no action can be taken. The task force may instruct the staff liaison to place the item on future meeting agenda. Note, if a member of the public wishes to share any presentation material for the task force consideration, they must be submitted to the staff liaison by email on the following address by 12 p.m. on the day of the meeting. Okay, anyone?
There's one
Want to speak?
attendee. Sorry, Chair. There is one attendee. If that attendee wants to speak, they can raise their hand. If not, we can move forward with no public comment.
Okay. Do you see any raised hand?
Not at this time.
Okay, let's move to number 7, business item, staff update.
Okay, thanks, Chair. For our first staff update, I'm going to turn it over to Sharon Goey, Director of Building Safety and Housing.
Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Chair, and good evening, task force members. Quick update. This is a continuation from the update I have provided at December. So we received data from the Homeless Engagement Access Team, county and above. In November, the HEAT team continued to collaborate with city and county to conduct outreach throughout the city of Milpitas to engage and provide resources to the city's unhoused residents. During the month of November, they enrolled 8 clients and completed 8 assessments. So counting from the time when services began in March, this makes a total of 112 clients enrolled and 115 clients assessed. And because the HEAT team has been conducting proactive outreach throughout the city, they have been able to locate and connect with unhoused residents, both at known and new locations. And for some of the unhoused individuals that didn't want to provide identifying information, the HEAT team provided basic needs items and community resources. And I have some updates too on the mobile shower and laundry. So during the month of November, We Hope conducted 4 sessions to the unhoused community. They provided a total of 49 showers and 22 loads of laundry. So now I'll turn over to Robert for some updates regarding CDBG. Thank you.
Thanks, Sharon. Let me know if you can hear me okay. I'm having some technical difficulties. You guys hear me okay?
Yeah,
Great.
you're fine.
Yes.
Thank you. So as Sharon mentioned, this is probably the first you may or may not have heard of the Community Development Block Grant Program. The Community Development Block Grant Program is a yearly program administered by the Department of Housing and Urban Development, short named HUD. And what they do is they provide jurisdictions with funds to assist and benefit low and moderate income individuals. So as a part of our yearly housing team process, as we go through what's called the CDBG grant funding year program. And so we go out to the community and we coordinate with nonprofits. We put all of our public information out there to let them know that we have a certain amount of money available. And just for frame of reference, the ballpark amount that the city receives every year is about $600,000. And we let them know that money's available, and the nonprofits apply for those fundings to benefit low and moderate income individuals in Milpitas. So why am I talking about this at the Homelessness Task Force? Well, that's a good question. The reason is that this year is a special year. Every 3 to 5 years, the city has to let HUD know what they plan on doing for the next 3 to 5 years with the money that they get from the CDBG program. And that plan is called a consolidated plan. So on a yearly basis, we tell HUD, these are the nonprofits that have applied, and these are the nonprofits that have been approved by the city council. And that's called an annual action plan. But every 3 to 5 years, we have to tell them what we're going to do for the next 3 to 5 annual action plans. And so this year, we have to put together a consolidated plan. And as a part of that consolidated plan, there is a homeless needs assessment and a homeless strategy plan that goes into the document. And so this is a pretty comprehensive document. It ends up being about 100 or so pages of market analysis, housing assessment, homeless analysis. And what I wanted to let the task force know is that your work over the last few months will be heavily memorialized into the con plan. It's fortuitous timing for the city because this is a lot of the outreach that we have to have done for the con plan. And the Homelessness Task Force has been instrumental in providing us the outreach and the feedback from the community that we need to ensure that that portion of the con plan is filled in and appropriately researched. So this is more of an informational session for you just to know that we have a community development block grant program. The Community Advisory Commission is the commission that we are also staff liaison to, and they have been more directly involved with that program. But for any future community development block grant, questions or inquiries, we encourage you to attend the Community Advisory Commission meetings, and they meet on the first Wednesday of every month. But as it pertains to homelessness and the work that you all have been doing, you will see a lot of your work in that consolidated plan. And so we just kind of wanted to let you know that that's happening this year. And again, thank you for your efforts. And we hope that if you have any questions, the consolidated plan is tentatively scheduled to be drafted for public review in approximately April. And of course, we'll let everybody know, we'll let the entire community know when it is available so that you all can see the document and provide comments as needed. But just wanted to share that with you all. And again, thank you for your efforts.
Robert, on this block grant, you mentioned is some of the amount from the nonprofit and some are from the government. Is that right?
So the funding all comes from HUD. So it comes from the federal government, and they basically have some rules and restrictions as to how we could use those funds. The city themselves doesn't spend any of the money. What happens is a nonprofit will apply for those funds, right? They'll put in an application, and then their application is vetted by staff, and it goes through the public review process, and then it is ultimately approved by the city council. And with the council's approval, then what HUD does what's called a pass-through. So the nonprofit can then spend that amount of funds. Let's say it's just $10,000, and then we are authorized to reimburse them using HUD money. And so that's how that exchange happens. We are just the intermediary. We the city ensure that all of the nonprofits follow the guidelines and are an eligible applicant to apply for some of the funding. we're just making sure that everybody's following the rules.
Okay. I see Sine raised her hand.
Sure, happy to answer any questions.
Sine? Sine?
I think she froze. Maybe Barbara's also raised her hand.
Sine, can you hear us?
I can hear you guys. Can you hear me?
Yep. Okay. We
Okay.
can hear you now.
Do you know when, do we have an idea which nonprofit has applied for this block grant or has been vetted to apply for this block grant?
Yeah, so every year we put out a notification to the public, a public notice to the broad community of nonprofits, and every year we get approximately 12 to 15 applicants, and consistently it's been the same applicants year over year. The last few years has been a little bit different just because HUD has released some additional money due to the coronavirus. So we've had some new applicants in recent years, but generally speaking, yeah, we do have an idea of who the applicants are and have a good working relationship with them.
Okay. Barbara, I see you have a question.
Yes, I believe that the list was reviewed by the city last year and they approved certain dollar amounts. So what is the cycle on that? When is it the applicants received and when does it happen again is the question.
Great question. Yeah, so every year, all of the applicants are reviewed by the city council, and ultimately the decision to select or reject an applicant is made by the city council. The application period is actually ongoing now. We opened it up on January 3rd, and we put out a notice to the public that it is open through February 18th. And so during that time, applicants can submit what's called a simplified application, demonstrating their interest in applying for CDBG funding. After that time, after that February 18th deadline, staff will put together all of the applicants, break them down by categories. There's a lot of other categories and sort of rules and regulations that go along with this. And then start to prepare our presentations to the Community Advisory Commission to get their feedback and sort of their recommendation as to where the funding priority should be allocated. And then we present all of that to the public and to the city council for their deliberation and then their ultimate approval.
Yes, and I believe I sat in on that city council meeting where they made the decision last year. And there was 12 to 15. I think that you could probably tell folks when that happened and they could go look at the list because it's out there somewhere in your website. I know it is.
Yes, ma'am. We publish all this information on the website. Exactly.
Robert, every year is about 600,000.
Give or take, yeah. The money, we have to put out a number that just kind of says, you know, how much we approximately hope to receive. And then every year, HUD gives us like a specific dollar amount. So in the 4 years that I've managed the CDBG program, it's been about that much, give or take. And then again, last year was a little bit different because HUD released additional funding for coronavirus to prepare and respond to the coronavirus. So we actually ended up with almost double that amount last year. But at this time, we don't expect any new coronavirus funding. So we're estimating to be about that $600,000 mark.
Okay. I have a question for Sharon. After you Santa County staff, oh, hold on 1 second. Sorry about that. After Santa County staff went through the assessment, if there are people who need mental help or rehab on alcohol or drugs, how do they get into that program, or are they automatically submit to the program?
Yes, thank you, Chairline, for the question. As part of the process, the HEAT team, the Homeless Engagement Access Team, they actually include some healthcare professional and clinicians on their team. So the process starts with street-based outreach, where they have a 2-person team that specializes in outreach and assessment, including clinician, and they're actually on the streets talking to and building relationship and rapport with unhoused individuals and families. And during this process too, they will be linking the unhoused residents to any medical or behavioral health services. That's part of the county system. So that is kind of included in this outreach and assessment service and this outreach that I've been conducting to our unhoused residents.
Okay, sounds like they will be automatically submit to the program. And how do
link them
they,
to that, yeah.
pardon me?
No, I said yes, they link them to those services.
Oh, okay. Then how do they get there for the help if they don't have transportation or other services that help them?
I know they sometimes I have heard that they provided some transportation services, but also just kind of, they have to make repeated visits to gain their trust and, to build that rapport. So they spend a lot of time doing that, and then they make referral to the behavioral health services. And if they need to provide a transportation, I know they have done that as well.
Okay. And those services are in terms of hours or like per day, or is that a long-term ongoing services, like each day they have to go in to talk to a therapist, or how does that work?
Yeah, I think it depends on the situation, and because of confidentiality and just client safety reasons, we don't have any detailed information on those clients.
No, I'm just
the
talking about the process in general. Like, are they getting help in terms of long-term? Each day they are going to talk to therapists to get the help, or are they very limited time frame help?
Yeah, and that's where I don't have any specific information, because I think they are making the assessment and the referrals based on the needs of the clients. So that this frequency that you're asking, I think it just depends on the situation, and that they will do, provide the services accordingly.
Okay. Any more questions for the staff?
Yes, I'd like to thank Sharon for the data that you give us each month. But I'm going to ask you the same question I asked the last time. Is it's great that they're being assessed, but how many of the in-house in Milpitas have actually transitioned into housing or been taken off the streets? That's my biggest question.
Yes. In the mid-year report that we provided council, that was in October. So for the first 6 months of service, and this is, you have to keep in mind the community queue has been cumulative. But based on that data, they provided housing, or I should say they have referred and placed clients in housing for 6 clients in permanent supportive housing and 2 in rapid rehousing. That's as of the end of August. And they will provide the next update in another 6 months from that. So sometime in March, they'll be providing data by the end of February.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tina?
Hi, Sharon, so my question is, I am trying to understand what kind of treatment are we providing to the unhoused community? So is it possible that you can share with us some information, either by email, or can we have a presentation or something like that to help us to understand what kind of service and resource that's available, or that we are the government's doing now to help the unhoused community, like for mental health, for drugs, or for others that I think we are kind of missing this part in our prior meeting. So I'm wondering if we can have more information on this. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, we can reach out to our county partners on the, more specifics about their program.
Okay, Sine?
Yes, I have a question in the sense that, do we know when Home Key is going to be up and running and functioning? And will they be able to go ahead and take the unhoused here in Milpitas and give them first priority?
Yeah, that's right. I guess let me back up a little bit. Project Home Key actually already had occupancy starting early last year. In February, we had, through our building permit process, because they had to do accessibility upgrades to some of the units. So that process already completed, and they have been housing residents into that continuously since last year. And their exterior renovation for the common areas and the services in the common areas, those are almost complete right now. And in fact, our building inspector was visiting the site, daily during the holiday period, tried to support them with inspection services, to get that aspect completed. So they're almost done. And as far as how the county system works, it's the county's, let me see what is the right term here. It's their coordinated assessment system, where they have all the residents, unhoused residents, that has been assessed. And they do that through this coordinated assessment system to place residents based on their vulnerability and risk factors. And that's where I know, through different various city council meetings, the county staff explained, that's how that process works. And, it's not specific preferences based on locations or anything like that, but it's a county-wide system for all the unhoused residents that have been assessed and that have been placed in the community queue.
Right, but Sharon, I can tell you for sure that Mountain View has the same situation where people are being assessed, but it's given first priority to Mountain View residents and Los Altos residents. And I'm just trying to figure out why we didn't step in and say, please make Milpitas, anyone in Milpitas that is considered to be living on the street or is a transient, give them first priority. I'm surprised we didn't offer that.
No, staff had numerous discussions with county staff, and the system I just described was their consistent response to how their system works.
So Sharon, we can follow up on this. This is Ashwini Kantak. We have, as Sharon mentioned, we have asked many times and have been told that's not how they can do it. But if Mountain View has figured out a way to do it, we'll follow up.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And is there any report, seasonal or monthly, from the Home Key project that is in the Milpitas? I understand this is not our city's project, but if they have a report on this, then it would be great that they can share with us too. We can be informed, or we can put it into our staff update too at a meeting.
Yes, no, and that's a great idea. And we actually meet with the county and Jamboree on a regular basis. And we have talked about, because people, do have questions, and having kind of a website with all the updated information. So whether it's on a monthly basis. So we have talked about that, and we can get back to you, through Robert and Sharon on when that can get started. But we do get updates, and we actually provided an update to council in December, I believe, Sharon. So maybe we can make that available as well.
Yeah, we've actually did share that with the task force members here, I think.
Okay.
That was part of our, the same time as our mid-year update. And I believe Adam has shared those links at the time. But if not, I can definitely follow up.
Yes.
Sharon, do you have the latest number for occupancy on the home key project?
No, I don't have any latest exact number from the county, but I know they have been continuously work on getting more of those units occupied and putting more unhoused residents into the development.
So we did have numbers shared as of December, and we could share that. We don't have anything real time right now, so we'll get that. But we did have numbers in December as to how many were in there and how many were sort of in the process and expected to be in. They were expecting, I think, full occupancy by February, Sharon, is what I recall them saying.
Yeah, I don't think I was at that December meeting, but based on discussions with them, I think it's going to be fully occupied. Yeah, around February.
Yes. And they're finishing
very
up
soon.
all of the improvements. So they did their work in 2 phases. The second phase being a lot of the common areas. They have installed a lot of security cameras inside and outside. And they made several changes last year, which have really improved the situation at Home Key in terms of the management company and the security company. They have regular patrolling, and like I mentioned, a lot of cameras installed on both ends, close communication with our police staff as well, with regular check-ins. So we'll send you the information, because we did provide a report to our council, so we'll share that with you.
Okay.
Yeah, which is I believe Adam has shared, but I can follow up. And like I mentioned earlier, this phase 2 improvement, it's almost complete. Now our inspector was diligently checking with them to provide inspection services during the holiday closure. And what we understand is that they're waiting for some appliances to come on site to be installed. So that's the work that continues to go on. So in a few weeks, they should be able to complete the entire improvement at this site, including all the common areas and the first floor where all the offices and common space is located.
Okay. Sine, you have your hands up. Do you have additional question or?
Sorry, I'm trying to lower it. There you go. Never mind.
Thank you. Any more questions for the staff? Okay, if
Chair.
not.
Chair, excuse me, just really quickly, I just wanted to let you know, we do have an attendee with their hand raised, so we can't take public forum after an agenda item. So I just wanted to let you know that.
Okay. When you say agenda at the end of the item, is like we are part of 7A. Is that let's see, do we need to finish 7 before we ask the public for comments, or do we can we ask them right now?
I would say per letter, so A and B, they have the right to give a comment about each of the items on tonight's agenda.
Per letter, so
per agenda item.
Per
So
agenda
per
item.
specific agenda item, Chair,
one.
we just need to take comments.
okay. So
So I'll unmute this person. And how much time would you like to set for public comment?
let's do it 2 minutes.
Ron, do you have the timer?
Yes, I do.
Mr. Mehta, when the timer begins, you may go ahead and start.
Sure. Thank you very much to the Homelessness Task Force. I want to specifically signify the Homelessness Task Force work within the city of Milpitas, as it is important to know that it is the Homelessness Task Force is a constitutional amendment requiring all cities and counties to provide the housing or shelter for the homeless person under a roof as per the state of California law. It is also equally important that along with the task force association within the city, it is equally important that in order to address the impact to the individuals and the families, the homelessness task force of the city must attend the California CSAC, the CSAC Joint Homelessness Task Force, where the more state laws are being adherent on a day-to-day basis to overcome the challenges and foster best practices within the cities, share ideas and resources in order to address the challenges that has been addressed through the homelessness task force. CSAC is a California State Association for the state and as well as for the county. Also, it is equally important that some of the updates that's coming to identify that, what are the resources that requires within the city to address to provide the resources to the right to shelter. As the laws are being updated, the city must act and, if required, take the legal steps and services in order to address those as to prevent any type of a lawsuit or any type of a litigation which has already been implementation with the homelessness task force. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any more comments from the attendees?
There are no additional comments at this time.
Okay, let's move on. 7B, we're going to do a final review of the presentations.
And go ahead and let me know when you can see that presentation, Chair.
Yeah, I see it now.
Yeah, we can see.
Thank you.
So just to give a little bit of a description, this presentation incorporates all of the changes from the task force discussions over the last several meetings, and also includes some updates from staff for the portion that is discussed by the task force that staff would update. And we also actually noticed, Robert noticed a few little inconsistencies, so we'll bring that up as you go through the slides as well. So.
Okay, have we set a date, February 1st? I see on the slide. Is that the date?
That was based on the last task force meeting, the discussion from the members here.
So are we able to get on to the city council agenda on February 1st?
Yes, during that meeting, I had discussed that, and then I mentioned I could put it on tentatively on the council agenda.
Okay.
So Sharon, you may want to share with the task force those deadlines to be able to get on the February 1st agenda. So when everything would have to be completed in order for it to be on the first agenda.
Yes, yeah, I mentioned that at the last meeting, and that's why instead of the January meeting, the task force agreed to do this February, because the report due date for our staff actually would be next Monday. And this presentation, which is the report from the task force, that will be included as part of the attachment to the agenda packet.
So Sharon, is that doable if we approve this slide set tonight?
Yes, if there's any minor changes that's approved tonight, that can be incorporated into this last set of presentations.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, move on.
And Chair, I'll follow your lead. So you just tell me when to proceed to the next slide.
Okay. Go ahead. Next. Okay, next. Next, please. Next. 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 Next.
Can I ask a question? About 2 slides ago, it said plan overview. Well, I don't think there's a slide for that, is there?
I think it's the diagram.
It's the diagram. Okay, let's
Yeah.
go ahead.
Okay, next, please.
That doesn't say plan overview. So if that's what it is, then let's title it that way.
Yeah, that's one of the things we noticed that we should tweak to, the minor.
Yeah, on the title,
edits to-
just say task force plan overview. Just add one more word to it.
Well, and just to note, Chair, that this task force is named the Milpitas Homelessness Task Force. So just for consistency, would the task force be okay swapping unhoused with homelessness to be consistent?
Yeah, we could do Milpitas, to be consistent, homelessness task force plan overview.
It sounds okay to me, but I have a concern about the square box on the left where it says public policy. I don't think I was at the last meeting, so I apologize, but if you could explain why you have no public consumption of drugs or alcohol on that box. I don't think that we can dictate that, and we have ordinances and laws already in place. So I would prefer if that wasn't in that box.
Well, we already approved that. So the reason for that was other cities with home key project, a lot of we noticed a lot of people having drugs and alcohol, and it just made a mess near the housing site. So we decided to have that on this box. Sine?
Just wanted to mention that we deleted that slide for public policy. So I don't know, are we able to make that box a little smaller? Since we deleted that slide, that's the public policy, and it lists a bunch of stuff on there.
It doesn't make any difference. We want to fit all those into the box. If you want to make it smaller, people has a hard time of reading it.
Okay, so I just know we had that slide in there and then we removed it. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, no, that's fine. We don't. Well, we don't need that slide. We just say out loud.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The staff. The only change on this slide is on the top line, Milpitas homelessness task force plan overview. Yeah.
And we don't need to vote on that? Do we need, or is it okay just to make the changes on there?
Sharon, what do you think? Do we need a vote on that?
Yeah, I think it would say consistent with the approach by the task force been taking. If you could vote on the changes to the slides, that would be
Okay.
helpful to staff.
Okay, Robert, go ahead and call the name.
Okay,
Is there a motion, please?
We
we-
need
I
a,
think
we
you
need a
could just-
motion.
Oh,
Somebody
okay.
needs
Go with consensus,
Okay,
Sharon.
I'll make the motions to have the title of the slide changed to Milpitas Homelessness Task Force Plan Overview.
Okay, roll call.
I'll
Chair
second
Lam-
it. Vice Chair will second it, the motion.
Okay, thank you.
Chair Lamb,
Aye.
Vice Chair Alexander,
Aye.
Member Centeno,
Aye.
Member Navarro,
Aye.
Member Zhu,
Aye.
Member Bevington.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Okay, next slide, please.
So there's actually a few other things on this slide that I just wanted to bring to the task force's attention. So we have in the circle here in the middle where it says Milpitas Unhoused Help Center. And then on the next slide, it says Milpitas Homeless Help Center. So again, just for consistency, whether we change slide 11 or whether we change slide 10, I just thought it would be best to be consistent.
Oh, okay, good point. Either way, I don't have a preference. If we want to be consistent with the homeless, the word homeless, so maybe we just use that word. So on this slide, inside the circle, we just modify unhoused to be homeless, just to be consistent with everything else.
Okay. Can we get a motion for that, please?
Okay, I move to change the unhoused word inside the big circle in the middle to be homeless.
Can I ask one question? Is it,
Okay, go ahead.
shall we change to homeless or homelessness? Like to make it consistent? Which one is it okay?
Robert?
I think it should be, sorry, go ahead, Robert.
I was, thank you. I was just going to say it's completely up to the task force.
Okay. Anyone has
As
a
I said, let's
preference?
be consistent. I
Okay,
think we should be consistent and put down Milpitas Homelessness
okay,
Help Center. And then just so we stay consistent
that sounds good.
throughout the slides.
Okay, I'll change my motion to change the unhoused, the word unhoused to homelessness.
I second it.
Thank you.
Okay, roll call. Chair Lamb,
Aye.
Vice Chair Alexander,
Aye.
Member Centeno, Member Centeno.
Okay, Centeno.
Yes, Member Centeno.
Aye.
Thank you. Member Navarro,
Aye.
Member Zhu,
Aye.
Member Bevington.
Aye, yes.
Okay. Robert, anything else on this slide? Is everything
Yes.
consistent?
It's related to slide, so it's related to slide 16. So we can either get there as we advance and come back, or we can take care of it now and then proceed? How would you like to?
Let's
How would
take care of it now.
Agree. Let's take care of it.
So on slide 16, the title is Work and Self-Sufficiency Programs. So everybody can see the title there. And then back in the bubble, it just says Work Program. So again, just for consistency, wanted to just bring it to the task forces.
I propose that we change it to Work and Self-Sufficiency Program on slide 10.
I'm
I'll
fine
second
with
that motion.
Yes, sir.
Vice Chair will second that emotion. Second that motion.
Roll call, Chair Lamb,
Aye.
Vice Chair Alexander,
Aye.
Member Centeno,
Aye.
Member Navarro,
Aye.
Member Zhu,
Aye.
Member Bevington.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Okay. Anything else?
I believe that is it.
Okay, thank you. Move on to the next one.
Sorry, just to confirm, Chairman, since I think you had done the diagram.
Yes.
Okay, so will you be able to do that and then send it to staff so we can incorporate it onto the slide?
Yeah, I'll send to you tomorrow morning.
Thank you.
Okay, on this slide, the title, we need to be consistent. So we change the word homeless to homelessless.
We will need
So
a
on this
motion.
one here, we're going to change it. Oops, sorry, go ahead.
Let's make a motion to change the slide to homelessness in the title.
Okay, a motion to change the word homeless to homelessness on the title.
I'll motion to change the title to state Milpitas Homelessness Help Center.
I second it.
Roll call, Chair Lamb,
Aye.
Vice Chair Alexander,
Aye.
Member Centeno,
Aye.
Member Navarro,
Aye.
Member Zhu,
Aye.
Member Bevington.
Aye.
Ayes have it.
Okay, next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Mix. Mix. Next, please. Okay. Okay. I believe we have reviewed all the slides. Tina?
Thanks, Chairman. Two questions. The first one is, can robot send us the final version when it's ready by email?
Yes, staff will do that once it's prepared.
Thank you. And then the second question is to JLM and Vice Chair. Did you both run the presentation, and can we make it in time? About 15 or 20 minutes, I think.
I don't think it's a fixed time. I think the city staff gave us a guideline within the kind of like ballpark number. Yeah, I think probably we can, that's a reasonable time, 15-20 minutes, I think, with the staff and two of us should be able to get this presented.
So I think we're looking for a motion to approve the presentation in its totality with all of the proposed changes.
Okay. No, do we need that?
I'll motion
That
to
would be
approve
helpful.
the slides with all the corrections that will be made.
Okay. Anyone second?
I can second that.
Okay, Robert, go ahead.
Was that member Zhu that made the second?
Yeah, this is Tina.
Roll call. Chair Lamb,
Aye.
Vice Chair Alexander,
Aye.
Member Centeno, Member Centeno,
Ferdy,
Member Centeno,
where'd you go?
Sorry, aye.
thank you. Member Navarro,
Aye.
Member Zhu,
Aye.
Member Bevington.
Aye.
The ayes have it.
Thank you. Okay, I believe we cover all the items on the agenda today.
Chair, just give me 1 second to just
Yeah.
ensure there is no additional public comment. I don't see a hand raised. Oh, we have a hand raised. So how much time would you like for this agenda item, Chair?
Oh, someone raised their hand.
Yes, we do have one public
2
comment.
minutes, please.
So I'll unmute and then when the timer begins, we can go ahead and start.
Thank you very much to again to all the prospective members. I wanted to make sure that as you know, the Homelessness Task Force Center is being developed. What is the most important factor that is required to be addressed while the COVID-19 situation is that the health center also provides the medical facilitation as well. It must not be just a facility where the shelter, food, and the resources are being provided. Also, recently there was a case within the city of San Jose with the project Home Key Development, where they denied, where the Santa Clara County judge, who has denied the restraining order that is filed by the group of Milpitas residents looking to halt the planned conversion of a hotel into a long-term supportive housing for the homeless people. So there are certain concerns that is required to be addressed as a part of that, as the city of Milpitas has raised their voices, and so would be the case with the proposed project by the Jamboree Housing Corporation. So it is important that while the council and the city of Milpitas Homelessness Task Force working on the project Home Key, and as well as the Homelessness Task Force, which is a California state project, important to address some of the challenges that is to be addressed. Like, as I mentioned, that, it should not be, as, while it is operating, if it is going to be operated by the nonprofit organization, then there has to be an operating officer to be assigned to that. And so must be the facilitation, where the community not be deprived of such facility. It should be benefited from the facility. And also it is to propose a plan which provide the right set of assessment for the facilitation center to work. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Any more comment? Rob? Any more people raise their hands? I cannot hear you.
No more. Sorry, I was on mute.
Okay. So Sharon, do we need a confirmation from you on February 1st?
No, I think based on all the feedback tonight, I'm finalizing the PowerPoint and the task force. So thank you all very much. I think, and if we get the diagram from you, Chair, and we can make all the edits in the PowerPoint, and we can definitely assemble this final slide deck and send it out to the task force members, and we can put on, work on the agenda packet and put it all together. And well, yeah, see you at council meeting on February 1st. So.
Okay, that's great. Fantastic. Any more comments from our members? Okay. If no, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting. Right now it's 6:10 p.m. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you, everyone. Have a safe and happy New Year.
Thank you, folks.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.